Thank you very much, Astis. This was quite a fabulous panel also. So I've been asked to give concluding remarks, 10 minutes. And there are two ways, I think, broadly speaking, of giving concluding remarks. The first option is the intellectual option, where the speaker actually makes a deep analysis of everything that has been said, synthesizes it into broad and general conclusion, having conducted a very exhausting intellectual effort in the course of the entire day. That's the first option. The second option is the speaker could say, well, this discussion was so rich, so much was said, it is impossible to summarize and conclude, so let's just have some drinks, and thank you very much. I don't know if you want to guess what option I'm proposing. You are wrong. Because I am proposing a compromise, and that is over the course of this afternoon, I have noted a number of interesting points and statements in no particular order and not synthesized and analyzed. And I would like to read out some of them to you. And I think together they will maybe remind you of some of the points that were made. And then it's then up to your own intellectual exercise to put it together and come up with conclusions. So maybe a kind of a Twitter style version of concluding remarks. So let me go ahead, just a couple of minutes. There are 3 shades of green, but the commissioner is actually not very fond of color coding. Unfortunately, the commissioner left quite soon again, and Harald could not convince her otherwise, because I know he has very good arguments. We heard a lot about the really indispensable contribution of the financial sector to the Green Deal. We heard that one should not have to be a climate scientist to invest green. Greenwashing can be a reflection of misconduct or of ignorance. There was an interesting point about the financial industry really having to ensure investments into the tech space, because that is actually then crucial for the green transition. 2030 is closer than 2050. Which is important because that's how we create a greater pressure to actually act. Another one, we should really maybe put this on a sticker. Regulation is our biggest helper, and it was not a government official who said that. It came from the private sector. Globally, the EU is a thought leader on those issues. Climate risk is financial risk. Europe is a world leader in green bonds. EFTA states are the closest partners of the European Union, including in broader geopolitics. Europe needs to build up its resilience, including through the single market. We don't have free movement of capital. We need to bring order to the wild west of crypto markets. Then, of course, quite some talk about the backlog. We need to speed up incorporation of EU acquis, and because the backlog can also, at least here and there, come at a price. AMLA was discussed extensively. Interestingly here, the Council asks for more direct supervision than the Commission. Most people don't have sleepless nights over the 2-pillar system, except there may be more, but yeah, there was only one identified today. Then really very important point. It was again mentioned here at the table. So the participation of the EFTA side in the supervisory authorities in practice. It has been focused so much on the sovereignty question of it, on the question of decision making, but in practice, it actually means closer involvement of our states than we otherwise have. And that, I think, is something maybe to look into more in the future. Should we consider a direct effect of joint committee decisions? Maybe something that we can also explore academically before moving to practice. Also very interesting, could there be potential conflict of interests when you have on the one hand the traditional roles of ESA, and on the other hand the new roles, which are quite different. Small states are not so much concerned with the 2-pillar structure, but rather with the regulatory burden, and I'm talking here about the supervisory authorities in those states. I have to mention I'm the Liechtenstein nominated college member. Liechtenstein is best in class. Also, just two more, we need more events like this. And ESSA means ESSA, as we all know. So with this, I would really like to thank you all very much. You're all invited to have a couple of drinks. I've been specifically asked to state that this is also not just for a couple of minutes, but we have, I think, up to 2 hours to mingle and chat. Also, there may be a few people who are not in the room, but still following us online, potentially even in this very building, because we are sold out here. Everybody's welcome to come down and have some drinks at our reception. And finally, I just want to restate how really impressed I am with this conference today, with the content, with the richness of the speakers, of the panels, and all thanks to the incredible organization that was undertaken, both by the EFTA Secretariat and by ESTA, by a whole lot of people, including especially, I think, Waldemar, Hendrik, Marta, Margrethe, and many others. I really want to thank you, and I think it really deserves a very warm applause from all of us.